Welcome to another exciting week in Project 70. And on this Monday, one thing is very clear. The loud minority thinks they are greater than the silent majority. I got down a real deep rabbit hole last night reading about Thurman Munson, reading about his career, and reading about the way he passed. 1991 Topps is the very first set I ever bought at a card show. But let's be very real here. You know what drowns out chirping? 25,128. Those are the amount of reasons I have right now why Project 70 is a massive success headed into a brand new week. Welcome to episode number 19. My name is Chris, otherwise on Twitter and Instagram is at CRT_sportscards. And my website, CRTsportscards.com, is your number one resource for everything related to Project 70. And over the weekend, I made the checklist even better for everyone to use. I went ahead and added images to the checklist. So now the checklist has every single piece of data you want on it. It also has shopping links for eBay when it comes to the base card, the foil card, the artist proofs. Everything you need is on the website, CRTsportscards.com. But I'm pretty sure we're not here to all talk about checklists, but we are here to talk about the numbers that are on the checklist. And on this Monday morning, we saw the print runs from the last 9 cards from week number 6. And I did, of course, make sure to remember the Monday cards that ended today from the buying perspective. But let's take a quick look at the Wednesday, Thursday, and the Friday cards, and then recap what they mean for the set going forward. On the Wednesday cards, leading the way, Mickey Mantle, just under 10,000, 9,298. And then also a very, very low print run, that Coco Christ, 1,877. Looking at the Thursday cards, we had that Thurman Munson by CES, one of my favorite cards in the set, 2502. But leading the way, there is that number, 25,128 by Alex Pardee and his Mike Trout. And then closing out the week here, F. with a very strong performance on his Ozzie Smith, 3243. But then here again, another sub 2K print run, that Cody Bellinger, 1,854 from Infinite Archives. So straight off the bat, when you see very high print runs, like the Mantle at nearly 10K, you have the Trout over 25,000. But then you've got 2 print runs on the same day that are sub 2K and almost what I'm calling minuscule because the buying window is 70 versus 48 this year. It shows that the 3-card bundles maybe are not selling as well as they were last year because you'd expect to see those cards have natural bumps, and we saw that last year continuously when the 3 cards were out. The 3rd card, maybe the lesser of the 3 cards, got somewhat of a bump because of that, but that is not happening this year. It's very obvious people are loading up on the high cards, they're loading up on Mantle, and of course they're loading up on Trout. But speaking on the Mantle specifically here, 9,000 or 9.2K feels extremely low when you think about the history of Mantle. You think about him not being with Topps for 9 years. There's always going to be the first card back. What is that number or what is that card? And this is that card. I'm not about to say go buy this Mickey Mantle by Joshua Vides because it's going to be worth money in the future, or the Mike Trout. I might theorize around these cards for the future, but maybe, of course, this was maybe the wrong medium for Mickey Mantle to make his return into a Topps brand. So maybe this was a miss overall. We're going to know in the near future, but it does feel like right now, 9,200 first card after 9 years. It feels low, and it feels like this card could be rare in the coming months. But now one card that is not going to be rare now or in the future is going to be this Mike Trout by Alex Pardee. Over 25,000 copies sold, and that is just a monster number, as I said, from last week. This is a massive win for the set. There are so many new buyers out there of this card. It was great to see MLB get behind it. I wasn't exactly sold that Mike Trout got behind it. That sort of clip they showed was could have been applied to really anything for Mike Trout, so I wasn't sold on that. But it was another massive win for the set. But this is the big question when it comes to Mike Trout collectability and potential value in the future. Look, 25,000 right now is basically 34,000 by bin baller Mike Trout last year in Project 2020, which is coincidentally his 3rd card also in the set. And if you go back to his very first card, look, we had that Trout just under 3,000. Then we spiked on Fuji to 13, which we thought was massive. And then, of course, we had Baller at 34,000. There is sort of a sell-off on the next card, and then his fifth card spiked up. But the end result of that spike on the third card was a very, very valuable first Mike Trout. And who knows in the future if Mike Trout's Fuji, his sort of second release or first in Project 70, will be worth what Ermsey is in the future. But in full transparency, I did buy 2 copies last week just to see. I figured, hey, it's $40. It goes down to 0, it goes down to 0. But if I hit an Ermsey Trout in the future, I'll be very thankful I bought 2 copies the week before Alex Pardee Trout came out. But here's the ultimate best part about having 2 print runs this weekend post nearly at 10 and over 25,000. Their counterparts, their rainbow foils, are now very, very rare. The Trout's Pardee, extremely rare. That foil ratio came in at 1 out of every 358 copies sold should generate you 1 foil. So if you bought 360 Alex Pardee cards, I hope you didn't. That's a lot of money on a card. You may get 1 foil, but also if you bought 1 card, you might get 1 foil. That's how the cookie crumbles in the game of Project 70. And then on that Mickey Mantle, those odds came in at 1 out of every 132. So the 6th hardest foil to hit. And right now we know value in the short term is all in the foils. And so best of luck. I hope every one of you watch this show hits one of those cards, because those cards are incredible and they're gonna make you some nice change in the next few weeks. And now, speaking on the free card giveaways from last week's Wednesday and Friday night episodes, I will have those winners announced publicly on my Wednesday video, but I'll be going back either tonight or tomorrow through all of the comments and alerting the winner to the fact that they won the free card and to submit their information on the website. So stay tuned for that. And I'm very excited to announce and talk about my giveaway for tonight, because it's a very special one as we start a new week in Project 70. And also, if you want to take this conversation deeper and to the next level, join us on Discord. My Discord server is just CRT space Sportscards. I believe you can search for it that way. And I'm moving a lot of my Project 70 talk from Twitter to Discord, because we are not limited to 280 characters, and there's a buy-sell thread, there's a mail day thread, video topics or topics around every video, a lot more healthy conversation happening there. So if you're on Discord, check us out there, CRT Sportscards. So as we shift our focus to now the Monday cards, the first 3 releases in week number 7, we are slowly, of course, winding down, seeing every artist's second card, and we're about to start seeing some of the artist's third cards. It's going to be interesting to see if Topps continues this release schedule of going 1 through all, and then 2, 3, or if they start mixing up the artists here pretty soon. But now, running through the Monday cards in order here, we have Greg Crayola Simpkins with his Tom Lasorda card, and that is Tom Lasorda for a reason. I'll go into that here in a second. We have Old Man Allen with his Chipper Jones, and then we have number 3, Jacob Rochester releasing his second Young Guns player. We have Kyle Lewis from the Seattle Mariners. And so it's going to come to no real surprise here, which is my favorite card of the day. It's going to be, of course, the Jacob Rochester Kyle Lewis. And when I look back at the Mariners' progression over the past 4 to 5 years, Kyle Lewis is the guy. There was, of course, Nick Neidert, which I was still sad that he was traded to the Marlins. There was a Chris Torres, by the way, in the Mariners organization. I am forever sad he never made it to the pros. There was Tyler O'Neill, who is very successful, at least in my opinion, with the Cardinals. I still wish he was with the Mariners, but there's been one guy who has been here the entire time, and one of the few young guns that I have actually met over the past couple of years, and that is Kyle Lewis. And to see him bounce back from his devastating knee injury as a rookie to where, or actually his first year of pro ball, to where he is now, it's just been an incredible progression from him. And so I'm very, very excited to see him in a card for Project 70. We will see if anyone else does him. I think this may be the only time we see him in the set, and this is why I'm so high on Rochester, because he might put out players here that will only be seen once. And so while we will probably only see Kyle Lewis one time in the set, a couple of players next are ones we will see multiple times. At least I hope we see Chipper Jones multiple times in Project 70. And of course, this is Lasorda's already second card in Project 70. Probably the biggest surprise is the fact that we've seen Lasorda twice now in the set. Of course, his very first card was the one by Mr. Cartoon. But when you take a look at these two cards, this is where it gets really tricky when it comes to art. Art, at least in my opinion, is meant to be misunderstood. You're supposed to look at a piece of artwork and have a different opinion than someone else. When it comes to modern day sports cards, something I very, very rarely collect, I find them boring because there's no real discussion around them. When you take a look at it like a Luis Robert Bowman Mega, it is what it is. It's just a card. There's a red border, a green border, whatever parallel there could be of that card, but the card is what it is. It's just a picture of a player. But when it comes to artwork, you have to look at it from a different perspective. And look, some of these art cards, you're just not going to get it, and that's fine, that's good, because others out there will get it. And so when you take a look at, for example, this like Old Man Allen Chipper Jones here, this is, at first glance, how is this a 1981 card? It's not really a 1981 Topps card at face value. But if you look deeper at the card, it is potentially there. I'm not saying I have seen the 1981 reference. What I have seen, though, is a reference to perfection. And when you think about the dunk contest, you think about what is the highest score you can get on a survey, it is a 10. And there's nobody in the major league career who embodied perfection more than Chipper Jones. He was one of the first players I really fell in love with as a kid and followed throughout his career. Now, one player I did not follow as a kid growing up because I'm not old enough is, of course, Tom Lasorda. But there is one artist that I did follow very closely up to the leadoff around Project 70, and that is, of course, Crayola, Greg Crayola Simpkins. And, of course, this is his second release in the set. His first one was Roger Clemens, but we have Tom Lasorda. And you're thinking, why did he put Tom Lasorda? When you go back to Lasorda's rookie card, 1954 Topps, there it is, Tom Lasorda. So it pays homage to his original rookie card, even though there were no animals on his rookie card. But here is why I'm still buying Greg Crayola Simpkins here. And this is strictly a shot in the dark, me putting 1 plus 2 together, hoping next card equals 3. But his first card had 1 creature, his second card had 2 creatures. So maybe his third card will have 3 creatures, and by the time we get to card number 20, a true evolution will happen, and his Project 70 cards will look like some of his just insane artwork out there when you Google his name. So I'm buying right now with the hope that by the time we get to 20, we are at another level of artwork. So let's work backwards here. If I'm buying Crayola, I'm a fan of Old Man Allen, and I'm buying the Rochester, what card could I be giving away? It's not going to be the Chipper Jones by Old Man Allen. I am buying all 3 of these cards for my personal collection around Project 70. So the card I am giving away for free, and I will do a separate 1-card order for the same rules. If I hit the gold or the foil, I will give it away for free, but I'll be giving away the Kyle Lewis Jacob Rochester for free. So right now in the comments below, put that print run guess below. The person close to the print run without going over will win this card for free from me. So we're off to another very strong week in Project 70. The question is, can we maintain the momentum from 25,128? With that, have a fantastic Monday night, and I'll see you back on Wednesday night for episode number 20 of the Project 70 show.